Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My name is Sayorius, and today we're going to be taking a look at Death Parade, one of my all-time favorite shows to come out. When did it come out?
2015.
2015, yes. So that was, oh my gosh, it's almost been a decade.
Don't say that.
uh,
Do not say that to me.
So I'm going to
I
say
feel old enough already.
Yeah. So I'm going to say I actually didn't watch this blindly. Like I didn't go in blindly. Unlike a lot of shows, like for example, Hunter x Hunter, Fairy Tail, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, those shows I found on my own. This one was actually recommended to me by our guest today, which is going to be Indomitable.
Hello. My voice is very off because I have been sick for like 3 weeks. This is the best it's been in a very long time. So,
Yeah, you're going.
yeah, I love Death Parade was one of the first shows I watched when I was like starting to get into anime. Because my roommate at the time, he showed me the opening. It was just like, guess what the plot of this show is about. And you know, if you don't know what Death Parade's about and you just watch the opening, you're gonna absolutely have no idea what it's about. And then the opening kept getting recommended to me on YouTube. I kept listening to it, and I said, okay, I'm just gonna watch the show. And I absolutely love the show, but I gotta say, I watched it when I was at like a low point in my life. Do not watch this show if you are at a low point in your life. It's very good, but it's also very depressing.
Yeah.
Listen to the opening on repeat if you're at a low point in your life. But do not watch the show at a low point in your life.
Yeah.
It was really good. It did help me like reevaluate how I wanted to live my life. I just to the fullest basically, and it was a very sad and depressing ending. And it's just like, I gotta make sure I tell my family I love them every day. I'm trying not to go into spoilers, but the ending. If
we can go into spoilers in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'll talk about it later.
It's just
it's
a very depressing ending that it's just like, God, I love my family. I don't Death Parade is really good.
Yeah, like I would say, for me at least, go into the show blind as you can. Like if you clicked on this video because you're interested, and you haven't seen it yet, I would say please watch it before watching the rest when we go into like the spoiler section, because I went into it blind because my friend Indomitable here, he told me to go in blind, especially since I only listened to the opening. And yeah, it hits differently when you don't know what's gonna happen. And the ending was very, very sad.
I think there's only one episode in its entire run that wasn't depressing. It was the bowling one.
Yeah.
That's the only non-depressing episode.
Yeah. And I mean, it does have some funny moments. It does have some lighthearted moments, but for the most part, the way some of the episodes ends, I just like have to pause after finishing it, and I'm just like, damn, that just happened.
I really had to take a step back after watching.
What's that meme? Is it where the guy's just sitting there at the park, like the park bench, just staring off?
Yeah, I know the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, that was. We're just like, what happened? What's going on? But yeah, no, the show is I mean, the fact that it has so many colorful characters. Yeah.
Sorry, I was looking at like the episode list. The arcade episode, that one broke me a lot. The arcade episode.
Death Arcade is probably one of the best episodes, but it's also one of the most sad.
It's so depressing.
Yeah, it is awful. I think what's so great about this is that it's very much. You could also, I would say, I mean, for the most part, aside from like a few story beats, it's like all individual episodes. It's very episodic. Because it's a case-by-case show.
Incredibly opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a story happening, but it's not like a major story. I would say it's more like a background thing.
Yeah.
It's very much like you could just watch episodes at a time Um,
Mhm.
I think it is a good Halloween watch too.
Yeah.
Um,
Hence why we're doing it during Halloween
Yeah.
because yeah.
I I will say though, I am upset about one thing was there was another background story thing happening, because about like it has something to do with like God abandoning these like deaf people a long time ago, and there's no season 2 to this show, so that's never been resolved. I would love a season 2.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever gonna happen, but I would love a
Hey,
season
hey,
2.
hey.
This is-
Longer shows have been resurrected from the dead. Have faith.
that's true. That
Yeah.
Devil as a Part-Timer came back after a decade.
Okay, but it was don't do that because season 2 was actually pretty bad. I didn't like it.
It was, but it came back after a decade.
I
so
see.
Death Parade
I'd rather see.
can come back.
Okay. Question. Would you rather have shows come back but their season 2s are awful, or would you rather them just be left like without a season 2?
I would rather than be left without a season 2 if the season 2 sucks ass.
Yes, because I feel the same way about Young Justice, which I know you watched too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like it came back, and then it turns out it's not good. And it's just like, ugh.
I would much rather a show never returns than it returns and it sucks.
Yeah.
Because then, like, now I've waited all this time for nothing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I also didn't like the animation change from Devil as a Part-Timer. That was like the big thing for me.
Which this might be a little controversial, but until the final arc, that was how I felt about the final season of Clone Wars.
Ooh.
It's like, okay, I had seen the Bad Batch arc before. You could watch like the unfinished reels for years online, and then the second arc of Clone Wars final season was that horrible like Ahsoka alone arc. But then the Mandalore arc happened with Ahsoka versus Maul, and it's like one of the greatest pieces of Star Wars media I've ever seen. So, and it really carried that final season like existing.
Mhm.
That like one final arc.
Yeah. But
If Death Ray comes back, it better be just as depressing.
it has
good.
to. It has to. And I mean, it's a shame because when it comes to like shows coming back, you also get like different studios handling it. So it's like I don't know. It's just like for me, it's like the animation, like because every studio has their own, I guess, style.
Yeah.
It always throws me off. Like to me, and this may be controversial, even more controversial than your Clone Wars take. I actually hate Mappa's style for Attack on Titan. I think peak Attack on
I don't
Titan
think that's
style is
controversial.
season
I think
3.
I think a lot of people didn't like the studio art style change.
Because I heard people hated season 3's art style. I'm like, why? That was the best Attack on Titan has looked. And then people were like, oh, Mappa's better. And I'm just like, what? No. Like, don't get me wrong, the animation's great, but for me personally, like, it's a preference, right? Styles are preference. I like the style in season 3 better.
I think if Death Parade does come back, it does have to be like this same art style.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever watched like the original short film that the show comes from,
Yeah.
Death Billiards, but it is like there was no art style change at all between that like original short film and the show. That short film is actually is canon. But it's Death Parade. You don't need to watch it to get the full picture or understanding of like the grander scheme story. It's just a fun little additional episode basically. It's the pilot. It's a canon pilot is the best way to describe it. It's an episode 13 that you could watch.
Yeah.
Either
cool.
before the show or like in the middle where it takes place.
Yeah.
Death Billiards is also really good, and you get it's a good introduction, I will say, because you get exactly what the tone of the show is, and you like understand like from the beginning like this is a dark place and something is sinister about it, which is what I really like about Death Parade is like at first it's like bar where all of a sudden these people wake up at a bar and they have to play a game, but like there's something dark and sinister like underneath the game, and you just as you slowly figure it out as the show goes on.
Yeah.
How truly sinister and bad this all is.
Yeah, at first I will say to me, and this is a huge problem with anime for me, a lot of shows, and even the really, really good ones, have really, really bad or boring first episodes. One of my favorite shows that's coming back this season is Eminence in Shadow. The first episode for season 2 dropped, and it was really good. But my God, it's season 1, episode 1 was awful. I wanted to drop the show because I was like getting bored with it, and then I watched episode 2, and I'm like, oh, it's much better. But yeah, my problem is with a lot of good shows is it takes a lot of time to build up, and one of the great parts about Death Parade is it doesn't have that problem. Episode 1 hooks you, and you know if you're in for the ride or not. You know by the end, yeah.
you know if you want to keep watching or not.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the Dart Game.
Oh my goodness, the Dart Game. Like just everything from the build up to like what's happening to how the characters are reacting. It is, I think, good. Arguably it's one really of the best first episodes in anime, like hands down. Like, you can't beat it.
Yeah, you get exactly what the show's about in that first episode, so you will know if you want to keep watching or not.
Yeah.
Within that first episode, like it's an insta hook show, which is very rare to find.
You know what's, I don't know, it's so weird. It's a weird tangent, but you know what's really funny? I was thinking about like shows about like that have really great first episodes like Death Parade, and you know what the first show that came up was?
What?
Quintessential Quintuplets. Just randomly, I'm just like, oh yeah, that also had a pretty good first episode.
Yeah, but it had an awful last one.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that here. Yeah.
Death Parade, on the other hand, ended on a pretty good note.
A really great note.
With a door open to a season 2, I must say.
Yes. Yeah, but anyways, we'll kind of cap off this, I guess, spoiler-free section by just saying, watch this with the intention that you watch the opening. Like, don't skip openings. That's my biggest pet peeve with people. It's like, oh, we're going to skip the opening. It's like, no, watch the opening because it will sell the first episode even more.
It helps so much with conflicting, like, the contrast between the opening and the show. You need to watch the opening.
I mean, you have to. So, yeah, just if you do that, then it will give you a better experience. And I will say there is a lot of heavy themes. So, like what Indomitable said, do not watch this when you are feeling sad. Please watch it when you have kind of a healthy state of mind. Also, if you get scared easily, don't watch it at night. Watch it during the day. It also will give you time to process things the rest of the day, which helps.
Yeah, this show, like I said, one of the first shows I watched when I started getting anime. Really good. I got my friend who doesn't like anime to watch it. It was just, and he fucking loved it. So that's how good of a show it is.
Yep. Yeah. So overall, so to end the spoilers-free section, what would you rate this show out of 10?
Dude, I think I actually have this as like a 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love. I think the show is really well done, like story, character-wise. I mean, there's like a few problems, but overall, like I absolutely adore Death Parade.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is always a high recommendation for me.
Yeah. For me, I wouldn't go as high, just because my criteria is more strict. But I do see the value in this, so I would give this an 8.5. I think this is a really great show. But what I will say, I have one big pet peeve, and it's not a harem show, and it's not an isekai. And no, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Of course.
You know my taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the ecchi? Where's the fan service? Like, I need my characters to show obscenely, grotesque
the
fan service.
Is don't waste your life.
It's very important for the story. Trust me, I need it in my anime, or else it's not a 10 out of 10. Jesus.
Trust me, dear viewer. This fan service is essential to the plot.
You don't understand the historical relevance of this into the story's narrative.
Dear viewer, I assure you, this big pair of bazongas at the beach is very vital to the story we are trying to tell.
You don't understand the idea of turning the main character into a dog. helps us get different angles for the fan service. No, I'm just kidding. Don't watch that show. Jesus.
Oh God.
Oh God. Why did I bring it up?
Uh,
Yeah, but anyways, this is gonna be it for the spoiler-free section. So if you haven't watched it, please take this chance to start the first episode. It is a very great anime to jump in for the October season, and a really great entry. And I really wanted to talk about this show, especially following up after Dark Gathering and going into more horror-related anime that I want to recommend to you. Any last closing thoughts for the spoiler-free friends who are still with us?
watch the show. That's it. That's my closing thought. It's
Watch the show.
Yeah.
Perfect.
watch the show.
All right. So thanks for watching, friends. Everyone who's leaving for that spoiler-free section. And now the cool kids get to say, because you watch Death Parade, you know what's up. And my God, a lot of people die in the show.
Everybody's dead.
Like a lot of people die. Like the amount of deaths that you see is insane. I'm just kidding. That's so stupid. That's so stupid.
That's really, yeah.
Yeah, but my God, the first episode. Now can you jump into spoilers? That first episode, dude.
Oh God, with the married couple.
Yeah.
Parks in the car. Oh my God, and the woman saying she cheated, but you know she could have been lying.
Okay, what's your theory?
that
Do you think she cheated?
fucked with my head. God, I don't think she did.
I'm gonna say yes. I don't think she did either. She lied to help him get out of it.
I think she was lying about it. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was the one who ended up getting what is it? She ended up the one getting destroyed, right? Like erased
Yeah.
from existence. And then
That's
he
one thing
went up. Yeah.
That's the one thing I like is that you. Well, I mean, they don't explicitly ever tell you, you know, when the elevators go up or down, but like, you know, you can tell just looking at the mask above the elevators.
Yeah.
I think like the best example of that is episode 4, the only not depressing episode of Death Parade.
Wait, that's Death
because
Arcade.
yeah, oh my bad. 3.
I was like, what do
4
you
is
mean
the
not depressing?
My
it's
bad.
the arcade episode. What?
My bad. 4 is the most depressing. That's my mistake.
It's episode 3. That's the bowling.
Episode 3, they're like right next to each other, and I guess dyslexia kicked in, but episode 3 is the bowling one, where they're 2 college students that knew each other, and you know they got to have like a happy, almost relationship moment for just a second that they never got to have in the real world, and you see their elevators for the first time. They're both like the good mask above the elevators, so they're both getting like a happy reincarnated ending.
Yep.
It's just that is beautiful. Only for the next episode to follow it up with a really depressing episode, because on one hand you have a mother that's never gonna see her children ever again, and
then a son who will never see his mother again.
who never got to tell her that he loved his mom. Yeah, and he didn't like even realize it until it was like too late.
Yeah.
God, that episode hurt.
It's awful. And what I love about it too is like, regardless of what you feel, right, about where each character should end up, whether they should be reincarnated or die, right, be literally erased from existence. The show is like, no, we already chose them. Like, your input doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So like, I've had like, what was it? Like, who ended up dying again? Was it or being erased? Was it
in episode 4? I think it was the mother.
the mother? See, I wanted the mother. I wanted the mother to get reincarnated. I think. Yeah, and it's like for me at least, it's like when you choose the like the different doors, it's just really sad because it's like you don't have a say in it, right? It's like the way they dictate who deserves to live and who doesn't. It's like there's nothing you can do. And even when you do live, right, when you do get reincarnated, it's like you're still never gonna see them again, right?
Yeah, it's reincarnation.
Yeah.
Like, you're
So-
gone. You don't have you don't really have. You don't have your memories of your past life. You're basically a new person.
Yeah. I will
Um,
say though, this is actually one of my favorite concepts of death. Like put into a story with the way that they become like wooden dolls when
if they don't get
when
reincarnated.
they get erased. Yeah, right. it's like, damn, that's all we are, just
But,
dolls.
the, but then yeah, then that was like part of the plot twist at the end is that the arbiters they're dolls themselves. They are people that were not chosen for reincarnation and sent down to the void, and basically resurrected very loosely as like a new person, basically based off of like the old doll of who they were when they were alive,
Yep.
but they're soulless, except for like our main character, Decium, I believe.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe, if I remember correctly from the show, it's implied that he was given a soul by one
Yeah.
of, like the people in charge to like as an experiment, basically to like see how that would go.
Yeah. And I don't know, that was the most interesting concept to me, was like having him be different from the others because he has a soul. And that's like his whole arc where he goes from like thinking that, because he doesn't even know he has a soul, right? He thinks like he's like
Yeah, he
everyone
doesn't
else.
even. Yeah,
But by the end, he like cracks a smile. It's very
Yeah.
slight.
he built like a close relationship to the black-haired woman, and
Yeah, which I still think is so funny. Her name's just Black Hair Woman. That's she doesn't even have like an official name. That's really funny.
yeah.
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 But surprisingly, you know what my favorite character is? I mean, I love Dustin, but my favorite character is actually Nona.
Really.
Yeah, because she went behind Oculus's back. Right?
Oh, the temporary god, because God is missing.
Yeah. Which that whole scene was crazy. But I just liked it because I love it when like characters like are like doing shady things behind people's backs for like the betterment of the show. Right?
Mhm.
I liked her because she was like very grounded and very real.
Yeah.
Also, she knew about him having a soul.
Oh yeah, she's the one that did it.
Yeah, which is great.
Of course she fucking knew. She's the one responsible.
Yep. I'm still sad though that Death Parade. Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now. I'm just so sad that like not many people are talking about Death Parade.
Yeah. It's such a great show.
Yeah, because like for me, it's like when it comes to like shows like Death Parade, they are popular when they get released. There's like a huge like a lot of people are talking about it, but once the season ends and like once you get like 2 seasons down the line, a lot of people start to forget it. And I
Yeah.
feel like we're now at that time where it's almost a decade, and now not many people even know what Death Parade is. Just because there's so many great shows out there. So yeah, it's just the fact that you have the idea of death, playing with death with billiards, which I think is one of my all-time favorite aesthetics, is billiards.
Mhm.
Right?
It's a
With the
great aesthetic.
bar, the lights, the music. It's great. It's great all around. And you combine that with sort of the afterlife, questions
Yeah.
about life, if you're living your life
Questions about like the
properly.
darkness happening in the background. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
yeah.
I think probably the best example of this is the black-haired girl, Chiyuki, according to the Wikipedia. I actually forgot they named her, but I like her story because the whole time she doesn't really know who she is. She doesn't know why she's there, and that's why she's being like a temporary assistant because it's a longer form of judgment essentially. And then you learn like this really depressing stuff about like her life and like and not until after she died did she realize she had made the mistake, and she had basically hurt her family, and that's something she didn't want to do, that she did it. I don't know, it's like it was a really depressing story. I think she is the best character in the show just because of the fact that like she is technically like the main story happening in the background is what's her deal, and like you get that in the final 3 episodes, and they're like some of the saddest and most depressing. Yet
Yeah.
at the end, it's still a little bittersweet because she does she is reincarnated in the end, and she got our main guy to crack a smile, and he's gonna miss her, which is a little sad too, but they built a close bond and relationship. I think it's also good contrast to like the other bartender we follow, and my opinion, the worst part of the show, like the girl he kept around because he didn't know like to void or reincarnate her,
Yeah.
and then at the end he just he didn't, he was around for a while too, but like in the end he's just like, what, void, I'm kind of
Just
like
voider, yeah.
evil. Yeah, like a dick, void, evil. I think it's it shows a good contrast to like, he hasn't grown as a person, while our main guy Decium, because of the black-haired girl, did incredibly grow as a person, because he saw her struggles, her desires, her hopes, her dreams, how they failed, and how that led her to death.
It's also interesting, like from his perspective, right? Where it's like he's sending all these people away, but right next to him is the assistant, right?
Yeah, the one he doesn't want to send away, but the one he has to eventually.
Yeah, eventually, because there's gonna come a time where she's gonna go away. And even, doesn't she also mention that throughout the show?
If they don't eventually like reincarnate her, she's just gonna void anyways. So
Yeah.
it has to happen eventually. She's like flaking away, essentially, becoming a doll.
Yeah. So. Yeah, but like overall, I think the show, like what you were saying with like her, it was like I love Death Parade because it has one of my favorite story methods, which is it's very episodic, but then you also have like an overarching story. And
the episodic stuff mattered.
yeah, but like so it's like you're watching it and you can basically come in and out because each episode is kind of individualized, and it's like there's a beginning, middle, and end per episode, but then you're also getting like in the background you have like this overarching story between like the two characters, and you're seeing their development over the show, where by the end, that last episode, it really matters. And I love the aesthetic. I think the aesthetic is great. The colors are, oh my goodness, fantastic. Great opening, great beginning, and great ending. The only thing that I think is wrong with this show is that you like it. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow, I see how it is.
Yeah, no. The only thing is, like, for me, I wish we got a season 2. Not now, but like when it ended, I wish it got greenlit for season 2. Which, I mean, it's not the fault of the show. I wish that I don't know, I just wish, like, for me, they took their time a little bit longer before having that last episode, because I think the last episode is what kind of just ended the show, right? Because the whole point of the show was, like, watching her journey. I think they shouldn't have ended it the way they did for season 1 if they wanted a season 2. Because it's like once she goes away, it's like Decimum is still there. It's just, I think it'd be a little bit harder to make a season 2 go off of that.
I mean, I guess, yeah, that is true, but like,
I mean, it's a damn final episode, but I'm like, if we wanted
it's
more,
an amazing final episode, but I don't know, there were still like questions and some loose threads.
That's what I mean, though, is like I wish that they extended it more to get those answers.
And I can still watch the first season.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine without it at all, but I would have liked the season. I mean, it's, again, the show is amazing. I love it. I will always recommend it. It's fine just with a like only one season, but again, a season 2 would be nice.
Yeah. And I guess I don't know. I guess my complaint's kind of dumb, but for me, it's just like I would have wished that they gave more time to finish those loose ends. But they could do it with the season 2, because this is an original anime, right? This wasn't a manga or anything.
Yeah, this was original.
Yeah. So like they could definitely do something. I'm just worried. Like, my thing is, it's not really a complaint on the show. I'm just worried that if they do season 2, it won't be as good, especially now, like almost a decade later. But yeah. Anyways, I would still highly recommend it. Is it my personal favorite genre? Of anime, no. I'm not the biggest fan of thrillers, even though this one's like one of the best I've seen. It's at least not my favorite genre. I think there is genres like it's just more of a preference for me, right? That's why I rated it 8.5. It's nothing against the show. It's just like, for example, like people who love sci-fi versus me, who I'm very much more of a fantasy kind of guy. Like, sci-fi is great, love it, respect it, but I'm all in. That's my preference. I love fantasy. I'm a diehard fantasy nerd. I know you're a big fan of thrillers though, so.
Yeah. I do like thrillers. I also, I like dramas. This is, a lot of drama in this.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure on the mystery aspect though, if you ask me.
Yeah, mystery. That's fair.
Yes. I don't think you got my reference. That one was an inside one he missed.
I know it was.
But I like Death Parade. I will always highly recommend it. It's a great watch. Watch it in October. Don't watch it when you're at a low point in your life. It'll not help your mental state at all.
Yeah, it will.
Do not skip the opening. It's really funny to see the contrast, and it's a banger. Yeah. No, watch Death Parade.
I just realized after talking about Death Parade with you, I now feel suddenly very sad. I feel really sad. I'm just like, what? Like, I'm like, damn. That's how you know the show's good. I'm like, damn, it brought down the mood fast.
God, Death Arcade.
God.
Death Seven Darts.
Oh God.
Well, let me mention that real fast. I find it really funny that for the most, it seemed like very early on they wanted to do like a theme of naming episodes like Death whatever game they were playing. But, like, they didn't do that for episode 3 and they just stopped after episode 5. Oh wait, no, they brought it back in 8 and 9. I don't know. I find it really funny that it's just like death, and it's like something else entirely. It's just like death and then alcohol poisoning. And it's like, guys, be consistent with your fucking naming scheme if you're gonna do a naming scheme.
Yeah, but my God, Death Arcade. I hate that.
Oh, God,
I hate that
Arcade.
so much. Oh my God.
But Rolling Ballade. Oh God.
You know what we need
they
to.
were bowling.
You know what we need to do. We need to find. Okay, which one of our friends? Which one of our friends hasn't seen Death Parade yet?
I don't think any of them have actually.
All right, we need to find one of them when they're at their lowest point in their lives, or they're feeling really sad that day, and we're gonna make them watch Death Parade with us.
Oh, I see.
Drinks will be involved.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm down.
Yeah, you see them start crying their eyes out. Oh, I'm wasting my life. Oh my goodness.
Depression.
Depression. You know what's funny too? Like we were talking about this, and so basically Indomitable, I basically have a talk, like a little spiel before we start every video, just to make sure we're on the same page. For this one, we were just like, let's wing it. Let's just talk about why we love it. And I know we had a little break in between that was like 2 minutes, but we're at 35 minutes.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? It's just like, damn, I didn't realize we were going to be talking for this long, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, that means it was good. And also, I guess like for our closing thoughts here, if you've seen Death Parade, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Like, what do you think of the show? Or if you watched it because of this video, what do you think of it? Like, do you think it was one of the greatest things ever? Did you hate it because of how sad it was? Are you a fantasy nerd like me and don't like Death Parade because it's not fantasy with fan service and, overscaling magic battles? I'm just kidding. Or are you more like Indomitable, who like appreciates the show and thinks it's one of the greatest pieces of media ever, which I think is a stretch.
Yes, you're allowed to be wrong, Mitchell. That's the whole point of opinions.
I'm just kidding. But anyways, subscribe to Indomitable because he was part of this video. He loves Death Parade, and he's gonna do a whole horror series this October. I'm doing anime.
If my
horror.
voice gets
Yeah.
better,
Yeah, fingers crossed. But
if it
yeah.
heals.
Yeah, you're going through your own
This
death
is
parade right
week
now.
3. Yeah, this is week 3 of my voice. This is the best it's been in a long time.
Yeah. So yeah. So thanks for watching, friends. Tell your parents you love them. Tell your friends you appreciate them. Yeah. Death parade.
Yeah,
It's-
don't
it's
waste your
something.
life.
Don't waste your life.
Yeah,
Uh,
You know,
thanks
it-
for
it
watching,
ends
friends. On
anytime
that
soon.
depressing note, let's just end it.
yeah.